Hi guys, welcome to the video. In this video I'm going to be doing a solo run of one of this week's GMs. This is Warden of Nothing. I'm doing it on a Void Warlock, and you'll see all the setup. If you go to the end of the video, I've got my full setup there in the video. This is my first run in about 15 months of my return to Destiny, so I just wanted to do something just to get a video back out on the channel. I know it's the end of the season, but it's just to get something out so you guys know I'm 100% back and enjoying it. These little things, the wraiths, banes, that's what they are, banes. They're a new thing since I've come back. You guys know all about them, but I kind of found that you can kill them, but even if you can't, because they regenerate their health, as long as you take them away, if you're far enough away, you'll be fine. So in this kind of first area, I've always done the same thing. I like to take out the ads from a distance, so I'm not having to deal with the glitchiest champion in the game, which is the Overload Minotaur. I've been doing these Minotaurs roughly the same way since they came out. I like to take them from distance, because these champions, you aggro them by being in their vicinity. You can actually damage them from miles away, but anybody that's watched the channel for long enough will know I like to work with repeatable strategy, stuff that works every time. And what I found is, if you clear all the ads, and it will be roughly the same for the whole run, if you clear them from a relative distance, you never really get into too much bother with the champions. The Overload, that Minotaur, you kind of have to keep putting damage on them. The problem with that Minotaur, and you guys have all experienced it, where he starts to regenerate his health while you're hitting him, that's normally because you've switched away from the Overload weapon, and the timing gets a little bit sus if you're trying to come back. So Overload machine guns are the thing. The commemoration's perfect. If you don't have it, there are plenty of alternatives. The weapon choices are so varied now in Destiny that there'll be other things you can use, but I've got a reconstruction void machine gun. I'm sure that there's plenty of them, or at least one or two you can get out in the open world. So as you've seen, I never bothered with the ads there. If you don't do too much bush jumping, ads in Destiny are audio, so you aggro them with audio. So when you jump, you create an audio, a noise. So they're very kind of noise activated. This is our first, my favorite unstoppable. If you can have a favorite, my favorite unstoppable is the Cabal unstoppable. Very easy to deal with, but because when you're in a situation like this and you have any kind of champion, and you also have another ad that's dealing big damage, you want to take the other ad out. So that Hydra hits hard, so that's the one that we focused on, because, well, I don't want to be fighting two big heavy ads. Now on the artifact there is something, and you'll see me do it a lot. I try and finish all the champions, because I have a thing where finishing heavy ads, yellow bars work as well, gives me special ammo, and I also have another thing that special ammo has a chance to give me heavy. So the machine gun, although it is a brilliant option, you will burn through your ammo if you're using it quite a bit, which I do. So basically, just with this barrier champion, I'm wanting to break his shield so I can switch to the machine gun. You can see the volatile rounds putting in work. I kind of, timing is everything. So I pull back when I think, it's a time thing, when I think that he's going to shield, I pull back so I'm ready with the Wish Ender. I'm sure everybody's aware how to get the weapons I have. As I say, you'll see them at the end. I detail it quite thoroughly. I always take these ads out because it's just a pain in the backside if you're trying to run past those ads and they're taking pot shots at you the whole time. A lot of people go the left hand side, because if you go the left hand side, you don't really have to deal with the hobgoblin I've just killed, this one on this platform and the one on the other one. I always come the right, because it's a chance to get ammunition, really, and they're not really really too difficult to take out. So there's another Bane. As I say, you guys all know this. You can see the sigil on the top of his head. That signals that he is a Bane. So again, just stop this unstoppable. Now I want to finish him. So what I'll do is I'll stop him, put a bit of damage, and then I come up here, and you can get kind of up close and personal with him here. He can't do anything to you. So he's ready to be stopped. Now, I have to say there, that was a good and a bad thing. I accidentally activated my prismatic, because I'm still kind of heavy fingered because I haven't been used to playing Destiny. So this is, as I say, my first. When I came back to the game, about 2 weeks ago, and I decided, you know, we'll see if I'm still in the vein, how much work I've got to do to get back to where I felt I was before. And you know, I'm just out of the loop with activating the 2 sticks. So that barrier champion, like a lot of the big barrier champions, once you break the barrier the first time, he won't really be bothered too much about attacking you. He'll move about, and he might attack once or twice, but more so you can put damage on him quite close to him, because he'll just wait to put his shield back up. That's his priority, is shielding. Now, this area here is really your first kind of, you know, big combat scenario. The rest of it's kind of running about, and this is your first. There are 3 real combat areas, 4 really, if you want to split this and the next area up. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure there's no goblins. I want to take this Hydra out, but I'm also waiting for the train, because the amount of times in the past I've thrown my super and it's hit the train. I think you'll see later on in the video I throw a grenade and that happens. So my super took out the Hydra. When you go up these stairs to here, you'll activate all the ads. So that's why I was staying. There you go. There's the grenade, just as I'm saying it. So what I'm going to try and do here is I want to kill this champion. You see, I'm going to put a bit of volatile on him, and then switch back to my bow, my wish end to break him. Now, something I never really knew, and again, a lot of people might know this, the trains aren't solid objects for the wish ender. So even when the train's going, you can still use your wish ender to shoot through the train to break the shield, as long as you're aiming at them. So what I'm trying to do here is just kind of make sure, yep, there's the train. As you can see, I fire through the train there. I want to get here to take this next champion out. So I've got to be careful with these ads. Ads will spawn here, but they're not constant. So once I clear this little area, I then can work out, you know, positioning and just go after this champion. As you can see there, that's what I was saying about timing. You really have to get your timing with the champions out if you're not using. So obviously the Wish Ender does great damage to this champion, but it can kill him, but it is just a trick. So, you know, you've got to be very careful with switching weapons. Make sure you get your timing down for changing back. So I just wanted to take out the 2 Minotaurs there. If I'm going to be here, because the boss is going to spawn from behind that energy shield, he's going to spawn to our right first, and I want to make sure I can get my super on him. The reason I've come up to the stairs is because if I stay further back where I was with the Hydra, then I've got to contend with the trains. So while I'm here, you can see there's, you know, while I'm here, I can I'm going to throw a grenade, I'm going to preempt a grenade, try and get a little bit on him. So if I'm back further, I'll have to, as I say, I'll have to contend with the trains. Now I'm a little bit further away from him than I would like. This, as I say, I like repeatable strategies, as everybody knows. This is a repeatable strategy here, because it doesn't really matter where he goes, you can get a good eye on him. But normally he moves faster than this. And as you can see, he teleported right back to the same place. Now it does happen, and you guys will have seen it yourselves, but it's not something that happens a lot. Normally you get him coming to the middle more than this, and it just seemed like he stayed in the middle, you know, a reasonable amount of time. The fusion rifle I'm using, again, I like to pick perks that really do more than just what they say on the tin, or not so much more than what they say on the tin. I like them to be multily efficient, you know, really efficient. So the fusion rifle, and it's something I would suggest, has subsistence to go with another perk. I mean, if you don't have some of these weapons, a chill clip sidearm or fusion rifle will be good, because chill clip will stop an overload. Although I find abilities that stop champions can be, especially Vex overload minotaurs, they're not really reliable, whereas the machine gun is very reliable, and getting volatile rounds will just melt them. So again, just be careful. The boss has teleportation, but those stairs I went to, they're quite safe. So this next area, we've got 2 champions, 2 unstoppables. What I like to do is pick off as many of these kind of random ads, the ads that are just kind of there. They don't really serve a purpose apart from stopping you from progressing too quickly. That is what these ads do. So I like to take those up top as well. This guy here normally jumps away really quickly, but obviously fancy these chances. Not good for him, because he's dead. So I've stopped this on first unstoppable. There's one same side further back. I just want to get a little bit on him, because I want him to come to me. Make sure his little Dr. Eggman Tash, that's what it's always looked like to me, Dr. Eggman from Sonic. Make sure when you stop an overload, they'll kind of glow. Any champion that overloads the unstoppable, they'll glow, and it looks like a moustache that glows. When that glow goes, you'll see it here. Once he becomes active again, he'll have like a glow at the front. That lets you know, you see it there? That lets you know he is unable to be restocked. So we're just getting finishable, and we will move on. There is a void shielded Cabal just behind those 2. Make sure you take those snipers out, because it's you know, for the OG players, it's solar burn, incoming solar burn. It's outgoing void. It's also outgoing rocket. Something I'll address while I'm just clearing up these ads. Now, I'm not. This isn't 100% follow this like, you know, like it's law. But if there's a weapon, rockets are strong for this run. Don't always go with that. Go with the best weapons for the job. And I felt like this is one of the few GMs that has all 3 champions, so I needed ammunition. You know, so don't always go with what's supposedly the best. You can see here, there's 4 champions here. There's 5 champions here. There are 3 barriers, an overload, and an unstoppable right at the start. So what I always do is I take those 2 scions out, because they're really the ads that can damage you here. And you see, I've gone for the Cabal barrier to start with, because I always, when there's a Cabal barrier champion in the vicinity, I don't try and kill him first, but everything I do is based on that Cabal champion, because they have more than one attack. Same as the Cabal Unstoppable, but the Cabal Unstoppable has no range really to the attacks. The Colossus obviously has that big heavy machine gun. You can see there the overload just, nope, I'm gonna stand and just try and kill you. They normally don't do that, normally fight with the Unstoppable. But because I'm constantly using my overload weapon, he doesn't regenerate. It kind of keeps him in that stage where, you know, I can kill him. I'm trying to break this other champion, and that's the 2 barriers, so I can throw my super. Now my super will kill one of them, and unfortunately the other one is shielded before, because he's in a bit of a battle with this unstoppable unstoppable overload. Jesus, Cabal don't have an overload. So because there's a barrier and an unstoppable left, I'm always going to take the barrier. The barrier has, especially the hobgoblin barriers, they've got quite a quite a hard hit because it's solar. Incoming solar is really strong. I just want to finish him. So he has range. Whereas the Cabal likes to mess about. Once you've cleared all the ads in this area, now you see there was 5 champions. I took the first barrier and the Overload from up high because they represent more of a challenge. Once you do that, 3 plates will appear. Now I've always done it like this. The plates have timers. You do not have to step on the plate. You have 60 seconds to step on the plate. So my suggestion is clear as many of these ads as you can. I like to take them all. So there is a couple of champions. I like to take the champions, as many of them as I can. There's the barrier's gone. There is an Overload. We'll get to the Overload. The 2 I like to take out before I even get on the plate, if I can, is that barrier. You need to take that barrier, but I like to take this Unstoppable. Because, and you will see at the end, just to prove my point, Platinum is not linked to killing every single champion. This Overload, you can leave this Overload. You do not have to kill the Overload in this area to get Platinum. Platinum obviously increases your end of round rewards. Now, because A is the only plate that's up, you don't have to be looking at A to see the timer. You can see there it's stopped at 5 seconds because I'm on it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try and get this Unstoppable ready to be stopped, finish him, and then I'll go to this plate. Now I always used to do it the other way. This was the final plate I went to, but simply because normally the Overload comes up here where that Legionary is. Because he comes up there, I normally can finish him, get him killed quite quickly. So that's 2 plates done. We have 35 seconds to get on the final plate. The final plate has kind of a higher level void shielded Minotaur, so I've put the grenade on the first ads, knowing that Minotaur was going to walk into that grenade. So I'll just come to the edge. I'm just going to crouch down, capture this plate. So when you get to this area, 3 plates, A will come up first. You've got 60 seconds to clear ads, the champions, the barrier, and the Unstoppable. Then get onto A, and then you can choose. I went to B, then C. C is the one we've just captured. That's the big one, because that will have a massive void. That's a big void shielded Minotaur on it. And then once you've done that, you'll get this guy, another Cabal, coming out the centre. Now, again, probably my most hated ad. I used to hate the Vex. The Vex, I had no time for the Vex, because they shield. So I've always thought it's a bit of a thing when ads can shield themselves, and you know they get all the good stuff, and we don't. I always think it's a bit of a cheat. So I always come to this back area, and what I'm doing is I don't have to kill these ads that I'm killing. I'm doing that to try and make sure I get ammunition, because as you can see, and this, I've done this run maybe about 3 or 4 times, and this is the gospel truth. This is the first time I've not had full energy, full ammunition going to the boss. So what I've done is I've got my prismatic on the go. I'm just gonna try get some of my needles onto him, throw a couple of grenades, just keep damaging him, keep the health coming down, and you can see how much damage your fusion rifle does. But the fusion rifle, again, you guys all know this, the fusion rifle is doing so much damage because of particle reconstruction, which basically weakens them and does a bit more damage. And it also will refill it, but I've got subsistence on mine, so kills will refill it. And I mean, I suppose it's worth noting for the amount of time that's left of this season that linear fusion rifles will also stop unstoppables. It's linear and fusion. They are both effectively fusion rifles. So just about 20 minutes. I've just noticed as I'm jumping up, I had to run around the whole map before I noticed there was heavy ammo behind me. The first scion that I killed, there it is, dropped heavy. Now, as I say, this is, you'll see me do this. I'm going to probably let off a couple of shots from my fusion rifle so that I can pick up. And you can see there, the first one I picked up gave me 32 extra heavy. So I have 162 heavy. That's about all I'm going to get going down to the boss. I've got my super. I should have prismatic not long after I go down to the bottom. So there used to be a thing here. There used to be a thing here where you would jump down, you would get down to the bottom, and the 4 champions, 5 champions, sorry, 3 barriers, an unstoppable, and an overload wouldn't spawn. So there was a way around this, and because it's been so long since I played Destiny, I am still doing the old way. So when you come and you activate this, this was the old Prison of Elders final chest from Destiny 1. It's cool that they've incorporated it into this area. Floor's going to go, I'm going to jump and try and hover for a bit. The other way was, there were so many different things you had to do here. You had to hit all the platforms on the way down. That's why I've jumped up there and I've hovered, just so that I'm giving the game a little bit more time to get the champions in. Although, all the runs I've done of this, I say I completed it like 5 times, all decent runs, the champions never failed to spawn in. So, remember what I said in the last area. Everything I do, I take, if there is a Cabal champion, a Cabal barrier champion, I take that is the champion that I take into consideration. Then it's the Overload Minotaur. Then it would be the Vex barrier. So the first thing I'd done was shield myself from that side, from the Cabal champion side, and I took out the Unstoppable and the Overload. The reason I done that, I'll just get into cover because a Bane has been, that would have been, I think, the Goblin, the Goblin that was there. The other thing you have to take into consideration is you do not want to take one race down completely. So I didn't want to kill all the Cabal first, because if there's a Cabal and a Vex left up, regardless, which is why I focused on the 2 in the middle, the Cabal and the Vex will fight. So you want to leave the 2 barriers up so they will focus each other. They will not focus you. So what I'm doing here is trying not to use too much ammo. That's why I've went prismatic. So once we take this last barrier, so that's kind of what I done. I took a Cabal and a Vex in the middle, and that left a Cabal and a Vex up. Right? So there was 4. So what I do is, I come over here, throw my grenade, my arcane needle, and then my super. And the reason why I do all that is because I have, and you will see in my prismatic, I have a thing that Arc, Void, and Solar abilities are basically get a buff when the enemy's affected by darkness, and that is why I'm using my arcane needle, because Strand is a darkness subclass. Now, let's talk about this, because basically what we're going to do for the rest of it is just, when the boss will keep gravitating towards us because he knows we're here, so we can do damage safely. I put this, and a lot of you guys will have seen it, that I put the clip of doing this as just a reintroduction. Hey guys, I'm still here. Although this will go up today, which is Friday. There is another video going up today which is going to more explain what I've been doing and why I never came back, and there's a few things to say in that video, to be fair. And I also, because I have a TikTok account, Livemondo TikTok, and I think it was like the 4th or 5th comment I got was like, wow, have to cheese the easiest GM in the game. And my response was, well, it's just, I thought it would be a cool thing. How do you solo it? And I never got a reply. Obviously, because this is an easy-ish GM. But, I mean, we are talking about a GM. It is easy, but if your focus goes down, you will die. This isn't like you can walk through this with anything. There is loads of ways you can die in this. Once I completed it, I looked at a few of the runs and people speed running this and the amount, and it's just, anybody that's watched the channel for long enough will know, I don't like runs where the guy or girl who's doing the run seems like they're in trouble a lot. You know, and they're putting themselves in trouble to do it quickly. Because the worst thing I can think of is doing a GM and like really trying to get through it really quickly and you know, taking too many chances, and you spend 10 minutes and then you die. And you've got to do it again. I'd prefer to know it's getting done first time. So I've spoke too much about that. Where I am now, it's the third railing out, and you can just sit here. If you do get in trouble, just crouch down. But it's really only at the end it seems like the ads can get a little bit of a look at you. And there we go, guys. Thank you very much to everybody that stayed with the channel. When Edge of Fate comes out, there's going to be a lot more content. Take it easy. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like. It's always welcome. And I will see you guys in the next video.